Hi, Studio Recap here. Today, we're going to talk about a movie called The Space Between Us in the sci-fi, romance, and drama genres. Spoiler alert is on, watch out and take care. You won't believe how much your support means. Thank you so much for your support. The movie begins with the introduction of a project called Genesis, a scientific mission, aiming to establish human habitation on Mars. Nathaniel Shepard, the project director, proudly talks about the mission's goals in front of a public audience. He shares how he has dreamed of life on Mars since childhood. Then, we are introduced to the team of astronauts, led by a woman named Sarah Elliot, who are preparing for their journey to Mars. Sarah sees this as an opportunity she can't miss, even though it means spending years of her life on the mission. After the astronauts successfully land on Mars, there's a 2-month time skip during which Sarah discovers she's pregnant, something highly unusual in space. NASA reluctantly decides to bring the astronauts back, but Nathaniel insists the news should remain confidential considering the project's massive significance. Sarah goes through her pregnancy on Mars. Despite the harsh conditions, she manages to give birth, but she tragically dies due to complications from her difficult pregnancy. Nathaniel is in shock and deeply distraught upon hearing about Sarah's death. In a meeting, the team decides to keep the baby on Mars because bringing him to Earth would be extremely dangerous due to his inability to adapt to Earth's gravity. Nathaniel disagrees, arguing that they need to take responsibility for their mistake. He even offers to lead a next mission to Mars, but his request is denied. His efforts to go to space prove futile. The story jumps forward 16 years, introducing a teenager named Gardner, Sarah's son, who has been living in unique conditions on Mars. No one outside the project knows he exists. Gardner is incredibly curious and intelligent. One day, he tries to access classified information from his robot, but when the robot refuses, he disables it. Through the robot's data, Gardner finds videos of his mother. We are introduced to Kendra, a woman who is like a mother figure to Gardner and cares for him. Gardner secretly searches for his mother's belongings and discovers a box of her personal items. Among them, he finds a video and a photo of a man with his mother and realizes the man in the picture is his father. Meanwhile, we meet Tulsa, a girl Gardner communicates with virtually. Gardner has told her that he lives in New York and can't leave his house due to a rare illness. Tulsa is a troubled girl who struggles to trust people. She lives under the care of a man who doesn't treat her well. Gardner starts watching romantic movies to better understand human relationships and learn about love. Gardner sneaks out of the spacecraft and goes for a drive, but he crashes, damaging his suit. Kendra comes to his rescue and scolds him. Gardner asks to visit his mother's grave, but Kendra reveals that her ashes were scattered in the Pacific Ocean. We then see Nathaniel, who has stepped away from the project over the years. In a meeting, Kendra proposes bringing Gardner to Earth, but Nathaniel opposes the idea, citing risks to Gardner's health. However, NASA decides to approve the request, ignoring Nathaniel's concerns. Kendra shares the good news with Gardner. Excited, he tells Tulsa that a treatment for his condition might be possible and promises to visit her soon. 12:59, Gardner travels to Earth with Kendra. He's awestruck by the beauty of the planet, with everything feeling new to him. Nathaniel watches him from a distance before approaching him to talk. Gardner expresses his desire to live on Earth like everyone else. They exchange questions, and when Gardner asks if he can stay on Earth, Nathaniel's response reveals that they plan to send him back to Mars. While the team is examining Gardner's physical condition, he escapes. Nathaniel and the others spot him on surveillance cameras and begin to chase him. Gardner, however, changes clothes to avoid detection and sneaks away in the cargo hold of a vehicle. Meanwhile, Nathaniel assembles a team with advanced equipment to track him down. Gardner, unfamiliar with Earth, reacts amusingly to everything he encounters. The movement of cars, the rain, people, and a lot of other things are all strange to him. Nathaniel and Kendra are following Gardner in a helicopter. Nathaniel figures out from Kendra's words that Gardner had a connection with Tulsa and says he's landing near where the girl lives, waiting. Gardner goes to Tulsa's school. Tulsa, who hasn't heard from Gardner in about 7 months, reacts violently when she sees him. Gardner's words sound suspicious to the girl, but in the end she agrees to go out with him after her class. Gardner enters Tulsa's class a bit later. He answers science questions amazingly, and then, by touching a gadget that caught his interest, he makes the whole class laugh. He shows a picture to Tulsa and says he's looking for his dad. They go to Tulsa's house. The girl grabs all the money she has, and during this, Gardner faces Nathaniel and Kendra. Gardner refuses to go back and says he wants to find his father. Then, he runs away. Just as Nathaniel gets close to him, Tulsa arrives in her dad's broken plane to help Gardner. They manage to escape, but the plane's condition was so bad that they had to make an emergency landing. They quickly get out of the plane and run, but the plane crashes and catches fire. When Nathaniel's team arrives, they can't find them. Tulsa steals a car and drives off of Gardner. Gardner tells the girl everything about his life, but she doesn't believe him. Tulsa angrily says he can't lie to her, but Gardner begs her to trust him, saying that even though it sounds crazy, it's the truth. Tulsa secretly searches for information about Sarah on a stranger's laptop. Sarah's death has been falsely reported due to a spacesuit malfunction. They find the address of a man by searching the name engraved on Sarah's ring. Tulsa believes this man married Sarah and is her husband. Meanwhile, Nathaniel and his team arrive but fail again, and Gardner escapes. The doctors report that Gardner's troponin levels have risen. This isn't good as his heart is growing. Meanwhile, Gardner, unaware of everything, is enjoying the search for his father with Tulsa. They go to a store and buy new clothes and stuff. Tulsa sits behind a piano in the store playing and singing. Gardner lovingly admires her. Nathaniel finds their location through the store's surveillance cameras, but they leave the store quickly. Gardner and Tulsa have grown fond of each other in this short time. They share special moments and have a romantic time together. They reach the address they were looking for and ask a man for the address of the person who married Sarah. In the end, they find the house in the picture. Meanwhile, Gardner has a nosebleed. When they leave, a woman, thinking they're married, throws flowers on their heads. They head to the address. Gardner feels worse seeing the crowd and faints on the ground. Tulsa takes him to the hospital and discovers that the poor guy wasn't lying about having a rare illness. Nathaniel and Kendra also arrive at the hospital. The doctors say Gardner's condition is critical. Gardner asks Tulsa to help him escape. In bad shape, he goes to the address he had for his father. Upon reaching the address, Gardner meets the man he saw in the picture. The man doesn't believe Gardner's words and says he's not his father. Gardner sadly leaves the house. Tulsa angrily tells the man to accept the truth and tells him that Gardner is going to die soon. Tulsa realizes the man is Sarah's brother, not her husband. She goes after Gardner to tell him this news. Gardner says, "The earth doesn't want me. I didn't choose where to be born. I want to choose where I die." After kissing Tulsa, he heads toward the ocean, saying he wants to go to his mother. Gardner moves toward the water and drowns himself. Nathaniel arrives and, crying, pulls the unconscious Gardner out of the water and revives him. When Gardner opens his eyes, he asks Nathaniel about Sarah. He realizes Nathaniel is his real father. Gardner's condition worsens again. They put him on a plane. The pilot has to increase the plane's altitude to reduce the force of gravity. Gardner takes control of the plane, greatly increases its altitude. Gardner wakes up. He and Tulsa kiss each other under special gravitational conditions. In the end, Gardner has to go back to Mars, but this time, his father is with him. Kendra, who has retired, goes to see Tulsa and tells her that she has saved up a lot of money over the years and bought a house. Now, she wants to take care of Tulsa. Tulsa happily accepts. She continues her relationship with Gardner virtually and tries to learn as much as she can from Kendra to someday go to Mars. In the final scene of the film, Gardner and Nathaniel are seen happy to be together.